Agents of I.C.S. is a Monster of the Week horror podcast meant for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Why, hello, and welcome back to our Monster of the Week campaign. It's been a hot second since we've last played, so let us hop back into Serene Falls and join our agents. Hello again from 5 seconds ago.
Hello.
Alrighty, as mentioned, we're going to pick off precisely where we left off. Kaiba, you led our little seance magical chanting with Margot, Carson, and Graham in his room. We were trying to determine if there is something odd about Serene Falls. Not necessarily this room, but obviously we got some strange feelings. We were trying to help Etta, also known as Fuzzy Buns. In another case, Kaiba, your girlfriend, also got a very weird vibe here. After our little seance is done, finished, everyone is sweatier, slightly out of breath. We feel as if more time passed than should have. We've already done stress rolls. We don't need to mess with that. But for one of you in particular, that one person being Carson, after this ritual is finished, you're all stuck looking at each other from the circle. But you in particular, as you're all trying to catch your breath and your brain is trying to catch up with the fact that your body is actually sitting and you guys weren't walking or running or falling or what have you. You, Carson, you get the feeling as if you're being watched. Something behind you. I wouldn't say its eyes are drilling into you, but you're being watched very, very intently.
And I find out where it's coming from?
All of your senses say it's coming from behind. In fact, you even hear something shift, the sound echoing in slow motion.
Is it a bad idea to turn around?
If you're asking if there's a sense of fear or dread overwhelming you, no.
No, I'm going to turn around and look at it, where I think it's coming from.
As you whip your head around and turn, you see the outline of something. A human, you're not entirely sure, but for a moment, in the shadows as it fades away, just like dust blown off a counter, you swear you saw the outline of something, and you know you saw a pair of eyes looking at you, but it's gone now. And as you blink, some sweat kind of strikes your eyelashes, forcing you to wipe it away. And whatever was there, it's gone. But the feeling does not instantly evaporate. There's still almost like there's something in the room with you, but you're not entirely sure. It's very faint now.
Like a presence?
It feels as if there's a presence, yes. Only you can feel this. For Margot, Graham, and Kaiba, you guys just see Carson whip around. You're all breathing heavily. You're all equally tired.
Do I feel like something is going to attack me? Or
No.
like it's just watching?
Just watching. And as you think, am I in danger of being attacked? Something deep within you tells you no. In fact, this presence feels strangely familiar. And the more you think about it, the more the presence fades to the point where it's entirely gone. Feels as if nothing has changed at all.
Oh. When you say it feels familiar, is it like, feels sort of like a memory? Or like something I've experienced before? Is it familiar in that way?
Interesting way to phrase that. I want to say yes, in terms of memory. You do feel something linked to your past, but you can't pinpoint it. Whatever it is.
It's sort of like how when you wake up from a dream, you're trying to remember the plot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much that, actually.
I'm going to pocket that feeling and move on.
Do you let it show at all that you're looking around for something, or do you do this relatively?
Yeah, sure. If somebody wants to say something, yeah, they can say something. I'm not hiding it, but I'm also not going to say anything. If I don't feel like I'm actively in danger, I'll worry about it later.
I think Margot would say something after Carson looks like he hasn't found anything.
Gotcha.
I mean, usually when you're focused, that's a good sign to keep focusing.
Yeah, and I guess I would just stop. If I feel like does it feel like it's gone?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'm gonna move on.
Was something wrong, Carson?
I don't know if it's wrong, but I don't know if it's right either.
We just found out that there's a thing inside this building. If there's more wrong, who knows? It's possible.
Yeah, I feel like there was something here.
I can't remember. Did we ask?
Well, here in the room,
Yeah.
Did we ask if it felt similar to the thing in what's her face's room or no?
Edda's room.
That's a good point.
I'm not sure
Does
if
it
you.
feel familiar like that?
Yeah, I don't know if you asked it, but yes, I would say it's a very similar sensation.
Oh.
So then they're one and the same, assumably.
Yes.
It's possible.
Interesting. All right, I would say that.
Mm.
Even if, I guess, Mark would be like, oh, is it like that feeling in there? I'd be like, yeah, I think actually now that you mention it, that does kind of seem what it's like. But it's not.
Oh. Did it have any inclination of what it wanted? Hostility or something? Or?
I don't think so. It just felt like it was watching me. I know it didn't feel like it was actively trying to harm me or us.
Hang on. Was the thing that Carson felt watched by different from the thing we were talking to in the seance?
100% yes. The feeling that only Carson felt is, I wouldn't say polar opposite, but it's so far flung from both the feeling in Edda's room and the feeling from now, you can't even begin to compare them.
So there's two entities in this building?
Well, we already assumed that, honestly. Like the thing inside Edda's room itself is something else than what's in this building.
This is a very dangerous building.
Yes.
Are we sure it's not like on a hellmouth or something?
I was literally just going to make that joke. I was waiting for you to stop talking so I could say, no, just kidding. But I was actually going to say this kind of feels like a hellmouth.
What it does feel like is above our pay grade, honestly.
That is true.
Not mine, unfortunately.
Think we could form a union, maybe? Get paid a little bit more?
I think they tried that once. It didn't go well for them.
Dang.
Realistically, as a consultant, Carson, you can technically ask for more pay if you deem it, worth your time.
Danger pay.
Yeah, effectively. But
hazard pay.
No, yeah, you guys do know that you can very much, if it's, passed by through certain piles of paperwork, that, yes, they will take you guys seriously as long as, there are multiple agents on the field. Obviously, the problem is they can throw all the money in the world they want you.
I could still die, though.
Yeah, you can still die. Plus, the mental anguish of some of these cases is not worth it for some folks, so.
Well, my official opinion as consultant is we should probably get out of here, honestly.
As you say that, Graham looks at you and says, out of the room, or what are you talking about exactly?
Well, if possible, get everyone out of here, but I don't think that's going to happen, and we're probably going to piss it off if we do that.
By everyone, do you mean people living in Serene Falls, or us?
Everyone in the entire building.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a hard convince there.
Yeah, it's probably for the best if we have some people investigate this, other than us, because this could be a lot. We need more information at that point. Keep it on the down low for now, as to not spread chaos.
Graham's nodding along.
I mean, you were all there, you could all feel it, it's strong. This is not something that I can single-handedly pull out, unless we, find its weakness.
Yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
The big one. Seeing as it wasn't attempting to harm Carson, I don't think the other one was, immediately dangerous at least.
I would think it has Edda scared.
Yeah, or maybe it was protecting it and it was just on edge. It
there's a way we
could
get some
complicated feelings.
To talk to it, huh?
Yeah. Though it would probably have to be outside of this building. Too much interference here.
Well, do you guys need anything from me, or what?
I mean...
honestly, I would say keep it calm. Don't try to provoke it or do anything weird.
That's
you're free to, move into a motel for a while, but
that's my motto in general. I'm not one for poking dangerous entities, especially if it's spooking all y'all. But at least as of current, I can't move, and it's.
I mean, has Graham experienced any, particularly weird stuff? Did we discuss that last time?
Aside from his best friend disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like how I just felt that a presence and Edda had a presence. Has he also experienced that?
Nothing weird, no. My buddy gets scooped up, sent somewhere, and unfortunately, that's kind of all I know.
He did get scooped, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, we aren't sure if that's related yet. But the way I see things, they're definitely not immediately dangerous. We definitely have to start working on some things, though. Because apparently it does think it's a god, so,
Why not just try talking to the other residents, see if they've noticed anything?
that's possible. I mean, Graham is chatty and he's here all the time. He surely can get some information for us.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
got a high charisma. Maybe you should ask around.
Introduce us, Graham.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know everybody, but I can introduce it all if you want. Considering there's 3 of you, what route are we going? Who are you guys? To me or to you?
YouTube documentary makers looking for haunted houses. Tell us your spookiest stories.
Nice.
I mean, that works.
This is what I've always wanted to do, honestly. I was begging for a YouTube channel as a young man, but alas.
I mean, what stopped you? Even I have one.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, though I mostly
Kaiba?
review rare books and stuff like that. You know?
Incredible. Send me your link. I'll subscribe, and follow.
Sure. Actually, it's on my card. Hands card.
You got here I am on Instagram. Here I am on YouTube.
Yeah. This is my OnlyFans. I mean, what?
Some of those books are really nice. What can I say?
And there's a niche market for everything, you know.
This is quite true.
That all said, I think that is a pretty good. It's not unusual for people to be like, "Tell us about your spooky experiences." You know, that's honestly pretty. If somebody walked up to me and was like, "Tell me, have you ever met a demon before?" I'd be like, "Absolutely, I would love to tell you."
On the street's a bit weird, but in general, I mean, people like to talk about themselves as long as, it's not Edda.
I mean, as long as you hype it up a bit, people will talk.
Well, considering who's here and whatnot, who you want to talk to? I know most folk here.
Start at the top, work our way down. Might have to skip Edda, though. She knows our faces.
True.
Or at least the 2 of you. I'm not sure if she knows Kaiba.
From what I gathered last time, it seems you guys didn't necessarily slip, but you let her know a little more than, whatever your facade was. At least that's the, general vibe I was getting. She's cool, just, wants to stay to herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, top floor. If y'all want to head up there, I don't know if Matthias and Gianni are there, but we can say hey.
I'll go up.
Dope. All of us together, I assume?
Sure.
Yeah.
Give me a second to get something from the van to make this look more authentic.
Sure.
He's just going to go back to get camera and stuff like that.
All right, as you nab a few things, Graham kind of starts cleaning up the room in general. We had to do a little bit of a setup for our seance. And after we've finished and you've collected your cameras and such, Graham's kind of chatting with them as you walk back over to the group, Kaiba, with all the goods. He turns over to you and says, all right, are we talking with Gianni first or Matthias? They're both pretty chill. I mentioned before, Matthias is a little... Spooky's the wrong word. Dude's just huge. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a jerk.
Let's do him first.
Yeah, I was going to say, might as well.
You know the saying, right? The bigger they are, the cuddly they are.
I'm really hoping that's the
case.
saying?
So wait, you haven't talked to him?
No, I've talked to him. It's just I've almost bumped into him a couple times, and he didn't seem too happy for whatever reason. So I don't know if it's personal drama, if I said something to piss him off. I don't know. I mean, I mentioned before, I rubbed some people the wrong way. Totally get that. Fully on board with the Graham annoyance train. But I don't think I pissed off Matthias unless the dude's just got a short temper. So I'll lead if you want me to. Am I part of your guys' YouTube channel? Do we got a name? We got a channel name?
Wait, it's I.C.S, right?
He nods.
Okay. Dang it. I wish I had these prepared. Can we say, yes, we do have a name, but then circle back to what it actually is later?
Yeah, that's totally fine. When whoever comes up with the coolest I.C.S. What is it? Acronym?
Yeah, anagram? No, it is acronym.
Yeah, anagram's a mixed up word. All right,
Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll head up from Graham's room of 202, up the stairs, up the stairs, up the stairs. As I mentioned before, the general build of Serene Falls, each apartment room is 2 floors, if you will. The second floor can be used for either sleeping or for storage, but there is indeed a semi-notable second floor. You can mostly look down at the first floor, leading a both good pricing, at least for square footage, and also semi-odd. The whole building itself is also sort of horseshoe shaped, so it's not a straight, flat line of buildings. It curves a bit. As we move up and up the stairs, we go to room 403.
Wait, what curves a bit?
The shape of the building, it's very horseshoe shaped, as opposed to being a straight line, yeah. We move up, and it says 403 Han, H-A-N, which is Matthias's last name. And Graham looks to your group, basically saying, am I opening or are you opening? Opening spiel, that is.
I'm gonna look to Carson.
I
We're
mean,
trying
we can
to play
open,
this
yeah.
cool and nerdy, right?
You can be our guide.
I'm the guide.
No, Graham is our guide.
Oh.
You can be our face again. You are the tuber. That's the term, right?
Graham is the tuber?
No, you are, Carson.
Oh, yeah.
You are.
Graham is just our guide through the building.
Dang it.
We're the
This
two
is
Bs.
This is my lot in life. I'll take it.
All right, Mr. Tubes, I believe in you.
Yeah, come on, use this face for something.
The category is face, and I am winning.
I won't argue.
Beautiful faces for
Carson's
500.
a handsome man. Yeah,
Who doesn't want to be the face of the VTuber or tuber channel?
He's handsome. He's
Handsome?
charismatic.
He's handsome.
Gets all the money.
Got a very niche interest in demonic entities.
And only stuck on one girl for some odd reason.
And we don't talk about that. How could you say that to me?
Though I don't know.
I mean, I am though. I think I'm healing right now.
How dare you speak the truth?
I'm healing to be better, for her.
I mean,
I
at
see.
least he makes good choices. Her books are great.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
And as your group descends to the top floor, reminder, floor 4 is the highest, doesn't go any further than that. He looks to you, looks to the door, and knock, 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 as one does. As we wait and wait, Graham checks his phone real quick to make sure Matthias is home, and now it makes sense. It's a weekend, most people have the day off. Lock clicks, and the door swings open. Rather than cautiously cracking it, it is effectively swung open all the way, and all of you are greeted with a very, very large individual who has an incredibly blocky physique, primarily composed of muscle. He has relatively small eyes and a buzz-cut hairdo. He's looking down at all of you with a, I wouldn't say like a bitchy, sour look in his face, but he doesn't really seem too happy as his eyes jump between your
God, he
group.
looks like me.
I thought you don't have hair.
I don't. I also have a bitchy sour face. So.
I mean, I have resting bitch face. It's fine. And he doesn't really say anything. He's just looking over you. And he kind of gives Graham a weird look as he goes, "Hey, buddy Matthias, how we doing, man?" He slowly nods, and his eyes are just questioning, who are these guys? Before he says anything.
So he's just waiting there for us to say something?
Effectively.
I mean, that's normally what you do, right? When someone knocks at your door.
Yeah, you introduce yourself.
I hold out my hand. I'm like, hey, I'm Carson.
The irregularity chasers spooks.
I hate
Yeah.
that. Hate that. We're not going, no.
It's the perfect
It's
YouTube name.
my YouTube channel. Hi,
I
Ma.
like it.
I don't care. I'm your manager.
Dang it. I don't even I think the worst part about this though is that I don't actually have this YouTube channel. So if he even tries to look it up, there's simply no
it's
evidence.
fine. I made it. On my way to the car, I made it real quick.
Incredible.
To be fair, it's very easy to make a channel. To fill it with videos, that's the hard part. You extend your hand, Carson. Matthias does the same, and just with a huge ham hock, just grips you. He envelops your hand in just muscle and sinew, and shakes. He doesn't like crush your hand, but he gives you a nice firm handshake. He's like, what can I do for you all?"
Oh, I want to shake his hand too.
You just put your hand out, Margot?
That's right.
This is Margot, my assistant.
And I'm going to squeeze, just let him know that I'm not as weak as I look.
Okay.
And he's like, ooh, was that a fly on my hand?
Well, you offer your hand, and he ignores it initially until you are introduced as the assistant. He nods, slowly turns his body to you, Margot, and okay, I guess we're going down the line shaking hands. And he goes to shake your hand, Margot. You being as strong as you are, you see his eyes react for a moment. Not like, oh, shock, but oh, shit, okay. And he increases his grip ever so slightly to match yours, but you can very much tell you are not hurting him. As he shakes your hand, you feel some bond of connection as if to say, okay, I see what you're working with.
Yes. I like a man with a good handshake.
Okay.
And his eyes bounce between all of you and basically settle on both Graham and Carson as he says, so what do you What do you need me for? What's up?
We have well, let me just get this out of the way first. I'm a YouTuber. My thing is ghost investigations. I know they're a dime a dozen, but not like my show. And I would love to know if you've had any experiences in this area that we could talk about on my channel.
As you say ghosts, his eyes kind of, he squints a bit like, what? Okay. You continue and finish your spiel. He looks to Graham. Not saying anything, his eyes are just like, why are you wasting my time? And then he looks back to you, sighs as he leans on the door frame, and says, ghosts, man?
It doesn't have to be ghosts. Anything weird will work.
Like aliens or something?
Sure, you have aliens in your building.
Not.
Yeah, I mean, it's all paranormal, all supernatural. We'll take anything, really. We're not discerning that way.
I mean, sorry to, kill your buzz, but I've not seen any ghosts here. Nothing like that. No aliens. Nothing too weird, at least.
How about complaints about neighbors making weird noises? You never know.
Alternatively, it doesn't have to be too weird. It could just be kind of weird. Maybe just a little bit. Something's kind of off.
Yeah.
As you
kind
say,
of like that guy as I point towards Graham.
Matthias blows air at his nose as Graham's like, hey, shush. And he kind of
No offense. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, Graham was like settling into just sitting there letting you guys roll the work, and he's like kind of puffed his chest out a bit, and he's repositioned himself as if to say, I'm not weird, right, Matthias? And he's looking at him, and Matthias just like slowly rolls his eyes and he goes, all right, I mean, complaints, yeah.
Complaints?
I've heard a few things, one or two. I mean, in general, we've talked about it, so it's not too big of a deal. Fortunately, Mr. Graham, you're a few floors lower than me, so I've not had issues. But I've heard some of your neighbors complain about various sound issues, and Graham's scratching his nose like, well, I mean, we're good now. It's not that bad. That's not. He's like, yeah, it's fine, buddy. Whatever. In terms of sounds, I can't exactly put my thumb on anything, but I've noticed some, I guess, weird activity. I'd occasionally, look out my back window. And there's some trees and such back there. There's a little park, I guess, for kids to play in. I don't know if there's many kids here. You got that one lady that lives next door to you, Graham, right? And Graham nods. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if y'all consider this weird, but I've noticed there's been a lack of birds and cats somewhat recently. There's a little yellow one, or orange, or whatever. He used to kind of run around here. You know the one I'm talking about. Right, Graham? Oh, yeah. That little dude. He's got like white spots on his back. And Matthias nods. He says, yeah, I haven't seen him in a while either. Oh, you do pay attention. And Matthias looks away for a second, clears his throat, and goes, I mean, occasionally, yeah. But I haven't seen him in a while.
That's definitely weird. Might not be paranormal, but worth looking into.
Yeah,
that's fine. We can blow it up to be paranormal.
Hey, I mean, whatever y'all want, but it's, I don't want to say like a huge problem, but it's something I've noticed. It's not the only one that's gone missing. I noticed that the black one a couple months back went missing as well.
When did you start to notice this exactly?
Oh, just he clears his throat. Casually, just looking around. I live on the 4th floor, so I happen to see down everybody else. It's kind of hard to miss those things. But
yeah, no, totally. But when, like 6 months, a year?
Oh no, the little black one went missing about a month ago, maybe 2, and then the little orange feller, he went missing. Last week, I think. Maybe. I mean, he's a cat. He can go wherever he wants, but now I know no one's allowed to have pets here. So, in terms of pets going missing, I ain't heard anything about that. But people, kids, they'll feed the animals, they'll pet them, things along those lines.
And what about the birds?
I mean, that I can't speak on too much. I just see fewer birds in the trees, fewer chirping.
Some eerie quiet.
Occasionally, yeah.
No lack of bug noise, right?
Nah, I mean, he pauses for a second, kind of holds his finger up, and you hear just going in the background.
No, yeah, so it is that time of the year.
Crickets, cicadas, all that shit. Quite loud. I guess if there's fewer birds, then yeah, more bugs.
Anything
Oh,
else?
Interesting.
Not that I can remember. I mostly keep to myself. I know, boring. But no ghost attacks, no aliens. I've not been abducted, not seen anything roaming the halls at night or anything. Not that they're really halls to roam. No dead kids playing on the swing, if that's what you're expecting. Sorry.
Truth be told, missing animals is more interesting anyway.
Yeah, it's always the subtle ones.
I mean, what? Sorry.
Well,
I mean, if y'all want to blow that up into a story, be my guest. You're not recording this, are you?
no.
All right, good.
It would be, I'm fairly certain we would have to have your, written consent to do so. So,
I mean, if you have a story you want to tell, we can record it. Pay you for your time, of course.
yeah, but in general, right now, it's just laying out some feelers, getting to figure out where the start of the trail is. You get me?
Yeah, of course. Well, unfortunately, that's the end of my very short tale. But if you do see any of those little critters, floating about, and he looks from you guys to Graham, let me know if you see him, of course. And he kind of shifts his stance a little bit.
Of course. I mean, we'll be going around this place anyway. We might run into them. Who knows?
He nods.
All right, next neighbor.
All right, as you bid Matthias farewell, he gives you all a quick wave. As you close the door and you hear one of the locks engage. And the next neighbor of significance, she would be one door down, actually. His neighbor. He's 403. She is 404. As you knock on the door, or I guess, do we pregame this, or are we just going straight on in?
What do you mean by pregame?
Same ordeal?
Yeah, I would do the same ordeal.
Okay. Listed next to her door says Mozio 404. Knock, knock, knock. Very quickly, the door is answered, almost instantly, actually, to the point where Graham hops back a good step or two. His eyes widen as he indeed sees Jenny. She is relatively short, kind of plump. She has small, round glasses. Her hair is in a very high ponytail. She answers with a smile and goes, "Hello, Graham, and friends. How are y'all doing?"
Peachy keen. How's it going?
She gives you the quick up and down, Carson. She says, "Oh, good. A little better now. Now that we have, are we selling something? You're not selling anything, are you, Graham?" And he goes, No. These are my buddies. Go ahead and introduce yourselves."
I'm Graham. No, just kidding. I'm Carson.
You say that Graham's like, he wishes. Nah,
I held up my hand to shake.
And she very happily takes your hand, shakes it, and then looks to the rest of your group and says, "What can I do for you today, precisely? Going around the apartments?"
Not well, maybe to some degree. We are from a YouTube channel which investigates ghosts and paranormal activities. I am the camera on-screen guy, and these are my assistants. This is my assistant and my manager. And we are just investigating the area for any potentially weird happenings.
As you mentioned, a YouTube channel and paranormal nonsense, her eyes light up at that, and she nods along as if she's paying closer attention now. And she goes, "Oh, really? Internet celebrity?"
Well,
Getting there. Numbers
we're
are up.
working on it.
Oh, snort.
If we were internet celebrities, you'd surely know of us by now. However, unfortunately, fame is all about luck and timing. And we have not yet reached that status of, virality.
If y'all have a card or something, I'll gladly take it. I'll check you out. I am totally for supporting smaller creators.
Love that. Did Kaiba make business cards?
I don't think I can make them that quickly. But
Yeah.
He
of course
handwrites
not.
them on the way over.
Sure.
So I will say, I worked in a print
Hey,
studio.
pocket printer.
There's if you have a decent mobile printer, there are sheets you can print on that have pop-out business cards. So you actually can make them that fast.
Wow.
I mean, sure, but would a I.C.S. car have one of those? Might be.
You tell me, it's a printer. That's a pretty normal thing, I'd say.
I mean, sure, why not?
That you guys need to lie about
we
your.
Need to be able to make stuff on the
yeah.
fly anyway. So
Yeah, and like it's literally a sheet of cardstock. It is already set up like 8 or 10 to a page. You print it, you do the thing. It can be full bleed. You just pop out real quick. They actually turned out pretty well for people that like.
You know what? I'm gonna play it like this. I'm gonna give it to her, saying I do, if possible. I want it back because I only made like 3 of them.
Okay.
It's still a bit small for you.
Yeah, she mentions that and goes, "Oh, I fully understand. Fully understand." She takes out her phone, takes a quick picture, flips it around, takes a picture of the back, and hands it right on back over to you, Kaiba, with a smile.
Thank you.
And why are we all saying hi to me specifically? I noticed that you were all speaking with Matthias a moment ago. Did he have any juicy stories?
Nothing quite so juicy.
No, he's pretty quiet.
Yeah. Which is why we were hoping that maybe you would have some funky information.
Ooh, define funky.
You know,
we'll take
tell now type stuff.
Oh,
just kidding.
What? Well,
but really though.
Okay, no, but yes.
You get weird dreams in this place, or weird scratching, or see little men walking through the garden.
Ooh,
yeah.
I mean, old man,
really.
Mr. Carrick, but you know, he's kind
of. Well, he doesn't. Is he a ghost?
Well, unless he is flying around on a broom or something, I don't think that's gonna work.
No, he is mostly on the floor from what I've seen, unless he's yelling at someone. But indeed, I've not seen him flying around on a broom. But oh man, ghosts or scratching or weird things like that. Not really to my knowledge. At least not here. Is this building supposed to be haunted or something? Am I just missing out? Did I pick the wrong room?
Maybe.
Did you pick the wrong room?
I don't know. I mean, no offense, Graham, but
are you looking for supernatural activity? Is that why you want a different room?
She pauses for a moment, thinks, and says, "Not necessarily. I don't want to be cursed or anything along those lines. But I know Graham here was having that little problem that I don't think you've resolved just yet." And he looks at her as if to say, "Obviously not." And she goes, "I'm sorry. No offense, taken or meant or harmed. But is that what we're looking for? Disappearances, sounds, things along those lines."
Well, it's one of those stories that brought us in this location, but
okay. If I can maybe answer and give you a little something for free, of course. The only thing I will charge you is a question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
A question?
Yeah.
Go for it.
How is Matthias?
How is Matthias?
Yeah.
Quite gruff.
Do they seem okay?
Well, I guess Graham would probably have a better idea of that, right?
He looks at you and he kind of shrugs a bit and says, "I kind of steer clear of the dude. He's 2 floors above me. I only really see him when he's walking up. Like I said, I don't really talk. No offense to the guy, of course. He seems cool, but slightly standoffish."
I think he's a tsundere.
I'm gonna lean close to her and whisper in her ear. I think he seemed to be a little down because his favorite birds disappeared. Or was it cats?
You mentioned that, and her eyes light up, and she says, "Oh, I knew it. What did you say with the cats?"
Apparently there's 2 of them around this place, right?
Like
or
this?
Did I miss here?
It was 2 cats and a bunch of birds.
Correct. You mentioned that, and Johnny's eyes widen a bit. You can see a little sparkle in there as she gets somewhat of a pep in her step. She says, "Oh, I knew it. So this..."
You did not hear this from us.
Of course. So this might sound weird. Please don't take it as weird, but I kind of watch Matthias sometimes. And, I mean, he's, and she smiles and kind of, shifts in her little position where she's standing. I thought, or think, that he likes watching the cats. I've seen him feed them occasionally, and I don't think he thinks people are watching, he'll pet and play with them. Now, this is usually at night, or when he doesn't think people are watching, but he seemed kind of down because both cats that he used to play with are gone now. I don't see him, at least. Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I knew it. Right. Okay. Oh, man, it's really sad that they're gone, though, because I haven't seen them either. He didn't really mention them to me, but you'd see them occasionally, jumping about the front, not necessarily asking for food, but and cats give you that look as if to say, "You feed me. You can't touch me, but you can watch me eat. Wouldn't that be great?"
Sounds like typical cat behavior.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Matthias. Oh, well. Maybe I'll talk to him about it. I used to own a cat, so, no animals in the apartment and everything. Mr. Carrick has a sixth sense for that. I swear, he can sense when people have animals, even if it's like a little guinea pig or something. Regardless, in terms of me seeing weird stuff, Thanks for answering the question, by the way.
You think he might have a supernatural ability anyway?
For cat sensing, yes, I believe so.
Animal sense.
Animal sense, yes.
Interesting.
That's a good story.
Regardless, oh man, for me seeing weird things, what's your definition of weird precisely? Because like I said, I've not heard any scratching or odd things up here, but I will say I do occasionally get...
We'll take anything out of the ordinary, honestly.
Yeah, I would say anything that kind of makes you go, well, that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, like, huh. I mean, Matthias noticed some birds were gone. That was a huh.
You need proof?
Nah.
No.
I mean,
Excellent.
it is proof.
That's where the investigation part comes in.
If
we
you prefer,
still need the lead.
Give you an interview. Have your face appear on the YouTube channel.
Oh, that would be fun.
Or blurred if you prefer.
She points at your cameras. With that there, or is that just for looks?
Yeah, with this.
She looks to Graham.
It's a bit shabby, but you know.
Oh, she shrugs as if to say that's perfectly fine. And looking to Graham as if to say they're cool. Graham gives her a smirk as if to say, I only hang out with cool people. Come on. And she takes a step back, opens the door, and says, well, if the four of you wouldn't mind, I can, spare a moment for a quick interview. If you'd like some tea or something.
Sure.
Wonderful. It's getting a bit colder, so I'm sure you all wouldn't mind. Any flavors, any preferences, or just spin the wheel?
Surprise me.
If you have anything cinnamony, sure.
Perfect. Of course I do. And she smiles. She heads over to a rack that she has just full of different teas and such, and she quickly gets to brewing, and she points over to her little kitchen table area, basically telling Graham to, you can set that up, wiggle it around if you guys need to, do lighting. She's actually very clean in here. She has a few potted plants that are very much alive. They're real. No plastic plants here. Some of them are kind of hanging from the ceiling and such. Her computer setup is quite nice, from what you can tell. She has about 3-ish monitors. But from what you can tell, this doesn't look like a streaming setup. She has a small little headset for a mic. She mostly looks like a stay-at-home worker of that variety. And you can see various charts and things that she has, some programming books and whatnot that are set up next to her desk. She's got a little library full of various sci-fi, fantasy, high-tech nature, training, things along those lines. As you guys are kind of sitting and waiting, she does keep her apartment relatively clean. And after a moment, we have chairs and things, everything set up. She hands everyone their various teas. She takes a seat, and with a little sip, she looks at all you and says, well, we're just going to record me, ask some questions, and I'll answer what I can.
Yeah. I mean, a bit of the backside of how we do these things. We usually try to, have some spontaneity and have a general direction of the questions we ask, so.
Oh, do we want to record from outside as to say oh, you just met me and oh no, who's this person? And then we and then you're invited in. We could I guess role play all that again real quick. I wouldn't mind.
We can do that after this. It needs to be quick, so.
Sure. That only takes a few moments. Well, I believe I'm mostly camera ready. She kind of turns around, whips out a little hand mirror, and quickly fixes up her hair. She's mostly ready. She's not date ready, but what is it, home casual chic, whatever that may be. She whips back around, hair's where they all should be. With a quick smile, she takes another sip and just kind of motions to you to say, ready when you are.
I'm sure I.C.S has one of those casual questionnaires that they can use to probe out certain entities and stuff right?
Yeah.
I guess I would be asking those kinds of questions.
Okay. As you guys
get weird dreams.
Yeah. As we kind of go
Any
down
impulses?
the list. A lot of no's. She thinks a little too hard. And I would say slightly maybe flubs the beginning of this, and maybe you can tell she's trying to give the answers.
Don't think about it too hard. Just answer the first thing you can. We can edit it out.
Scratches at her face a little. Okay. She starts talking, and most of the things that she's giving you, to most folk, might seem like a rare encounter or something along those lines, but we all know is essentially nothing. She does eventually get around to weird feelings, and a lot of these weird feelings are just standard ones that we all get all the time, except she does eventually come around and say, well, occasionally It's not too frequent, but I thought it might have been you, Graham. No offense, of course, but I always get a strange feeling around, yeah, I guess around your apartment, which I guess is near Edda's, but her general vibe is just kind of stay away. She seems like a nice girl, but don't talk to me. I don't know if I'm getting the stay away from me vibes or something else. In general, I don't know if anyone's had anything good to say about Mr. Carrick. He's kind of just a sour bean in general. Not a huge fan of him. He's perfectly fine. Fortunately, I think he's less than willing to climb this high, so I'm mostly safe from his wrath. And Graham's nodding along like, yep. And then she pauses for a moment, looks at you and says, "Oh, are you gonna blur my face or bleep names? Because I'm sure
Of course, if you want us to blur your face or bleep out names or do anything like that, just say it.
You can keep my face, but maybe remove the part about the Mr. Carrick,
Of course.
Thank you, would appreciate it. Regardless, I don't think he's much of a YouTube guy, but just in case his grandkid or kid sees it and says, "Hey, one of your tenants is not being the nicest person. I like living here. It's really cheap, and like I said, people mostly leave me alone. Then weird things happen. Weird-ish things. There's some drama. I think some people are maybe, sleeping together, seeing each other that shouldn't be, or should be. Who am I to say? I can only put 2 and 2 together and sometimes make 4. Sometimes you get 5, though, which is really strange. Regardless, at night, I think we all get strange heebie-jeebies at night, at least occasionally. But I try to make sure I'm home at the right time. I'm not a fan of walking around when it's too late. The lights here work for the most part, but I don't know if you can make really too much of a connection with this. The back side of the apartments, I guess the back and the front, it's all relatively creepy at night, isn't it? Near the little park where the kids play, at that general area, not that I have a reason to go there, but I get slight heebie-jeebie vibes. Unrelated, and she pauses for a moment, thinks, and says, "Does it need to be the apartment specifically or any weird paranormal stuff?"
Anything's
It
fine.
can be the surrounding area, honestly.
She nods along.
If you have any fun stories of the marketplace you go to, that's fine as well, honestly.
Her eyes actually kind of light up like she's remembering something. She goes, "You know what? I do occasionally get a really odd foreboding feeling. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know what they are actually. There's no sign. It might have been an apartment, maybe a warehouse or something at some time. But there's the buildings," and she kind of looks past y'all, and she's thinking as if where she is right now, pointing near the window. Over yonder, right across the street, there's an abandoned, semi-abandoned building. I don't have to go by there. I'm, parking my car and whatnot, but one time the parking lot was full for whatever reason. I don't precisely know why. Not that we get too many guests. But I got just a very strange, you shouldn't be here feeling. You know the one, right? Where all your hairs sort of stand up. You feel like you're being watched, but at the same time, whatever's watching you wants you to go. Like it's hiding something.
Surprisingly often, yes.
Okay, that feeling. I gonna be honest, while I'm semi-interested in maybe your paranormal what have yous, I don't want to be in the forefront, in the center of it. So I don't tend to go by there very frequently. The one time was enough.
It's not for everyone.
She nods.
Well, it's good to hear at least. That gives us more to talk about in the video. Would you mind recalling or retelling one of those stories on camera?
Oh, I'm afraid
Maybe
it might
sensationalize it a bit.
I'm about to say it's relatively boring. It's basically what I just told you. But if any of you are writers, I'm not necessarily, great with the pen. But yeah, if you guys want to help me with the script, if you will, it'll be true. Of course, I did feel it. It's just I can't put it into flowery words.
Of course, Carson.
So valid. Of course, we are more than willing to, assist you.
She smiles very widely at that, and looking over to you, Carson, she says, "Are you enjoying the tea? Is it good? Not too sweet?"
It is good.
Yeah, delicious. Am I a tea guy? I can't remember.
I don't know. I thought you were a coffee guy at the bar or something.
I think you're right. I'm like, oh, tea's good. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you definitely have a good selection for what I could see.
Thanks for noticing. Really appreciate it. It's not my main hobby or anything, but I tend to hop around here and there, and I've stuck on tea for a while. It's fun, just in general.
Yeah, no, my girlfriend also has a lot of tea.
Oh,
and
very
herb-related
nice.
stuff. She really enjoys that stuff,
She smiles very happily at that, sort of pulling herself away from whatever memory she had prior, and she looks as if her spirits have indeed been lifted. In general, the rest of her stories don't really seem too interesting or anything that would cause alarm. Do you guys ask her about any of the other residents staying here, or
Subtly, maybe? Like, have you ever had any weird interactions with people?
Okay. As she kind of goes down the list, she, of course, mentions Graham, nice dude. The lady living next door seems very busy, etc. Edda, she's never actually met her, but she's seen her like maybe twice, so she seemed like a nice girl, just very flighty. Matthias, she thinks on him for a bit and just says he seems like a big sweetheart, but I've never had the oomph to go talk to him, so I don't know too much about him, unfortunately.
Definitely has a crush.
And she ends up talking about him for a little too long as she realizes she is, stops, thinks a bit, and says,
We all looks at her in a knowing way.
Just nodding along.
After
Yes, absolutely.
quickly recounting.
Maybe if you mention you also stop seeing cats, you'll open up a bit.
Possibly. I mean, now that I know he actually was doing what I thought he was doing, I'll be honest. She looks around a bit and then shrugs, like, I'm in my apartment. What am I doing? I saw someone kind of giving him a weird look, at least when he was near the park. Mainly because obviously there's children there. Maybe they thought he was being a creep. I think he was just there watching the cats, not the children. I don't think Matthias is a bad guy. He might get a bad rep from some people here. A lot of folk have no hobbies, so they just, gossip and gossip. And you think bowling would stop when you, leave high school. But no, some people have nothing better to do with their lives, so.
Sadly.
Unfortunately, but I think he's a good dude. Now, speaking of not so good people, are you guys starting at the top and going down, or what's your order of operations?
Yep.
Well, you can censor this if you wish, or take it, what you will. This is more of a personal opinion, not so much, ooh, spooky. If you've spoken with Brant at the, I forgot which room he's in. He's near the landlord.
We haven't spoken with Brant, though, right?
No.
The 105 guy.
He's a
skinny dude.
Yeah, he's a bit of a stick in the mud. Not a huge fan of him. I don't hear too many rumors about the guy, primarily because I tend not to see him unless he's trolling around at night. I don't like to judge people too much, but I dropped something, and rather than helping me, he gave me that look, kind of like he was looking down on me, like I was stupid or something. I don't know, but it was very rude. I didn't appreciate it. He didn't offer to help, and he just kind of kept walking.
That was definitely a dick move. I don't think paranormal yet, but...
No, like I said, you can remove this part, but I guess when speaking with him, not necessarily be careful, but he's kind of a, JERK, not a huge fan of the guy.
Well,
sounds like a JERK, honestly.
Other than that, sorry, I've not been abducted by aliens or, possessed by the spirits.
I see that would have been a story.
Oh, would have been.
Yeah, but 90% of ghost investigations are asking people if they've seen weird things, and 5% people saying they have, and then another 5%.
See, it's the small things that are slightly believable that are fun.
Yeah.
Like cats disappearing.
Well,
I don't know if that's fun.
I was about to agree.
No,
that's not so fun. But
it is interesting.
Precisely. I try to keep an eye out, from up here. I can't see everything, of course. Matthias, I guess fortunately for him, has the best location. He is smack dab center in the apartments.
Well,
if that was all, then I will bid you adieu, and we'll keep on investigating. We'll send you a message if you when we air the episode, I guess.
All right. She smiles at that and gives you the 1 moment finger. She turns around, heads over to her desk, and grabs a business card, hands it to you, and says, "My business information is on there, but it still will come directly to me. I'm not horribly busy. I'm a programmer, so my email is primarily jobs, but I get them once, and I'm working on them for quite some time. So if you find anything cool, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll most likely get back to you pretty quick."
You got it.
Will do.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Have fun with your friends, Graham. And he goes, "Yeah, will do. And as you guys head out, she closes the door, and you guys begin walking away, and you both hear and see her kind of whip open her curtains nearby the window between each room, and she's like watching you guys go, and as you kind of do, if any of you turn around, she waves up to say bye.
Sure, I'll wave back.
And she smiles at that. As you guys are heading away, Graham looks to your group and says, all right, who's next?
I guess we're skipping Edda, right? She knows our faces, or you guys' faces at least.
That and she's...
I can't remember if I was there when we went in, or if that was Jay.
It should have been Jay.
It would have been Jay, yeah. She does know us.
That and she's, like I said, nice girl, but unless we got a real good reason to bug her, I don't think she'll even answer the door.
Yeah. We've already...
We're for the best to skip her. Right, now we go straight to Brent, I guess, right? I assume we're also skipping Mr. Carrick.
No, I think we should ask Carrick about the animals.
I mean, do
Yeah.
remind yourself that you and Carson have already spoken to Mr. Carrick and they think you're inspectors.
Then you can talk to Mr. Carrick.
Great.
All
I'm
right.
sure he'll love that.
Most assuredly. Seeing as none of you have really spoken to Brant yet, do we just head down there and say what's up?
Yeah.
Alrighty, as some time has indeed passed, it is later, but not necessarily late. Fortunately, it's weekend, so most individuals should indeed be home. We knock and knock. After waiting a bit, Graham leans over to look at the sign to ensure this is the right person, right? And room 105, Brickleby, that is indeed Brant. He narrows his eyes and, okay, waits a second, takes a step back, rings. And then after a moment, you hear some shuffling from the inside. He goes, okay. The door cracks open, and you guys can see an eye. You can tell the little chain lock is still indeed engaged. And the eye jumps across all four of you rapidly after settling on Graham. And he kind of scowls for a second and says, what do you want, Graham? He says, hey, Brant, what's up, buddy? My friends and I have got some quick questions for you, if you don't mind. And he scowls again and says, I do mind, little. I'm busy, hence me not answering the door. Yet you keep knocking. And he goes, yeah? He says, well, you're disturbing me. I could call Mr. Carrick. I'm sure you wouldn't like that. He says, whoa, all right, a little too much, buddy, a little too much. I'm not bugging you too much. We just have some quick questions, right, guys?
Right.
We were just wondering if you were interested in appearing in a YouTube video, I guess.
His eyes narrow at that? What?
You see, we're I.C.S. Where the irregularity chases spooks, and we're looking for ghost stories and the like.
His eyes jump between each of you as if he's trying to put a name to a face, and he's just coming up blank. He is not really looking too happy, very clearly not wanting to speak with your group in general. And as you guys are introducing yourselves, Carson, if you would like to, since you're the face of the group, if you want to go ahead and roll me convince, you're more than welcome to do so, my friend.
Absolutely, I do. Just,
all right, with a
nice.
I gotta be honest, I saw the 1 and not the 0. So I thought I had rolled as bad as possible, and I was like, I should have known.
I don't think you can even roll a 1.
And I don't think that's even a thing. And yet, for some reason, my brain was like, well, that was a waste.
The lowest you can roll, well, yeah, technically you can roll a 1 if you have a negative 1 your stat and roll snake eyes, but...
Oh, yeah, like with weird.
Yeah.
I could roll a 1 with weird, but not...
Fortunately, you're good at talking, so the worst you can do is like a 4?
Nice.
Not bad.
You convince him by saying that we will pay him for his time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say.
He looks very uninterested until you mention that, and he goes, all right, what exactly do you want to know?
I guess same questions as we asked Jenny. Like, anything weird in this building? Are you hearing spooky voices? Missing animals?
He sighs at
More
that,
people?
closes the door, undoes the chain, only opens the door enough for a crack. You guys can indeed see most of his body, about half, I would say. And yeah, he's a relatively skinny dude, pretty lanky. He's a bit taller than you guys were expecting, wearing a hoodie and generally loose clothing. You can tell it fits very poorly on his wiry frame. He looks to each of you and goes, ugh. I mean, I can give you some little bits and bobs of information. The pay seems pretty decent. Pay me up front, or how's this work exactly?
I mean, if that's what you prefer, sure.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to tell you a bunch of...
$50 or something, I guess.
Oh, shit, okay, yeah. He very happily takes that and shoves it in his pocket. As you guys are looking at him, you can tell that he's got some pretty serious heavy bags under his eyes, as if he hasn't slept in a while. And he's smirking and kind of mumbling something imperceivable to himself as he puts the money in his pocket. Looking over your group, he goes, all right. Well, yeah, I would say here, at least specifically, I do occasionally hear voices and things of that nature. I can never really make out what they're saying, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't lose sleep over it, at least occasionally. Like sounds? Yeah.
Which direction?
They come from above. Points at the ceiling, and then he thinks for a second, and then points toward the center of the apartment complex. More so that way. Is scratches on, I guess, my ceiling, their floor. Coming from over there. It's near my kitchen. No, you can't come in, by the way. It's
Scratches?
Miss it. Yeah, it's I don't know, there's rats or something in the walls, but I've complained multiple times, and those little shits or vermin, whatever they are just wriggling about.
Is that... I can't quite remember which part was which because it's been a little while, but is that at all similar to, like, do I think it would be similar to the sound of when we were in that hotel room and there were all those things scratching at the wall?
He doesn't go into... It does make sense. He doesn't go into good detail. He just says scratching and compares it at most to rats, like big rats.
Okay.
Do we know the number of the apartment he's pointing at? Is it like the 205? Like straight above him, or is it too low?
It's more to the side, so I want to say it's either coming from 204 or 104 or somewhere over that way. I don't know. There's got to be something in the walls. I've complained a couple times, and Carrick's sometimes, we're not necessarily neighbors, but we're relatively close by. He moved my apartment once, but the scratching hasn't really necessarily gone away. He says it will, but whatever.
What was Finn's apartment number before he disappeared?
204.
Write it down. Anything else we need to ask?
I feel like probably, but I can't think of anything.
Weird dreams. Do you feel weird presences at that one building that Janimel mentioned? If we go there.
And as for his skinniness, is it...
does he look healthy?
Yeah, is it like natural, indoorsy lack of health, or is it might be something outside?
He does not look healthy. Definitely not. It's difficult to tell, primarily because of the baggy clothing he is wearing, but you can see his hands, and he's not skin and bone, but he's not doing so hot in that sense. He, as you guys are kind of looking at him, he scratches at his wrist a little, maybe getting slightly nervous that he's talking this much and you guys have these questions. And as he pauses, says, "You guys aren't recording this, right? You're just taking my answers, and you're..."
No, we would legally be required to get your permission to...
See, you say that, but I keep seeing all this weird shit of just recording people without consent.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
That's actually very fair. If it's any consolation, we think that's not cool.
I agree. Good.
If you prefer, currently we haven't asked you yet, but since we are taking notes and recording stories of you, or writing them down rather, would you prefer your name being written down as well, or would you like to be anonymous?
Anonymous. I'd prefer not to be...
Well, do.
Not that I don't believe in spooky shit. Yeah, there's some weird stuff out there. Definitely. But, don't put my name to it.
Sure, will do.
And as you kind of mention all these various things, he thinks to himself a little. You mentioned, have you seen anything in the building across? And now I'm going to ask you guys. There's a multitude of things here to notice. I'm going to ask for a sharp roll. You can all roll individually, or you can declare you're helping someone else on their sharp roll before you roll. Your choice. Obviously, full success means you get more shit.
What specifically are we checking out in this case? Is it like a health case or?
So there are, I'll basically, there's a multitude of things to notice here.
Okay.
I would say two of you rolling would be...
Hang on, about him or about the building next door?
A multitude of things.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch. Basically, you can kind of see past him. He's a little fidgety, and when you bring up the building, he pauses for a moment. So there's a couple things to all notice here all at once. Rather than doing one roll, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity for multiple. You guys can do 3 if you wish. Perfectly fine. If your sharp isn't that great, then you can help somebody else.
Sure, I'll roll for that.
You roll to help, or
I will I'll roll to sharp.
Okay. Yeah. And Margot and Carson?
I'll put down my camera to put him at ease, and in the meantime, look around.
Okay.
I'm really good at helping out, so should I help someone out?
Wow, that's a bad roll, though.
I mean, 7's good.
I think I have a +3.
Yes, as long as you're solid there. In terms of sharp, Carson, you have a +2. So if you want, you can throw that out there.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Would that be with?
Just roll sharp. Just flat sharp.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And then, Margot, if you're declaring to help someone, unfortunately, even if you do succeed, a +2 will only bring the 7 to a 9, which is still a mixed success. That's perfectly fine, though. So I'll just have you not roll, Margot. It's all right, unless you want to roll and maybe fail. Up to you. For experience.
I'll just go ahead and roll.
Okay. All right, cool. Like I said, unfortunately, that only brings a 7 to a 9, which is also a mixed success. So the two of you, Margot and Kaiba, you're going to notice as he's kind of scratching at his wrist, the two of you see a few things. For one, on his skin, because you guys are kind of focusing on his health currently, you notice the more he talks, he's a little fidgety. He's leaning against the door frame. He gets comfortable, but it has to shift and adjust his positioning. You notice that there is somewhat of a sore, like a red or a blue spot, almost looks like a bruise, but maybe a little too red for that, near his skin on his wrist, up a fair chunk. Maybe not at the halfway point of his forearm, but close to it. And you can see it doesn't end. It's almost like his skin is stained or something along those lines, and it's just bleeding down, and you can see maybe half of it, hard to tell. He sort of notices that as he's talking, he's lost in thought as you ask about the building across the way. Margot and Kaiba, you notice the stain on his skin. As Carson, you see his face. His eyes go wide for a moment. And he looks as if to say, I am, like, his face to you, Carson, is saying, I am not answering that. But he doesn't physically say that out loud. He quickly notices Margot and Kaiba looking at his arm, and he kind of scowls a bit and covers his arm up and holds it behind his back, feigning that he's scratching himself. Clears his throat and says, No, I have not heard anything about any other buildings or whatever.
I would think as part of Margot's job, it's my job to know if a disease is natural or unnatural. So would I have recognized this as either or?
I will say, Margot, in general, you would be mostly trained in any sort of skin alterations that come with birth or things along those lines. The odds of this being a natural occurrence or simply a skin irritation are quite low. It had a very peculiar look to it. The way that he reacted was less, I forgot precisely what it's called, like a bug bite or something, and more either insecurity or don't look rude. And he looked a little angry, specifically when combined with the question about the lot across the way.
I'll try to change the subject. Well, you don't have to answer any questions you don't want. That's fine.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
I'm just gonna try to get his attention away from us noticing, I guess.
Okay. He starts kind of going along with that.
I'm actually thinking that I want to poke it.
Physically?
No, the subject.
Okay, well, what are you going to say? His hand's on the door. Not that he's closing it, but he's motioning body language-wise as if to say, I'm kind of done talking.
In that case, yes, I definitely want to poke it.
I'm wondering if Kaiba would try to stop her.
I'm going to ask you real quick, so I don't even know if you have time. I want to find out if that is recent or if he's been suffering with it for a while.
Hey, you druggy.
All right, as he's thinking, and Kaiba, maybe you're firing other questions. Margaret, you've been relatively silent this whole time. You can't just fire this question off. Go ahead and roll me convince as he slowly turns to look at you.
Oh, no. Do I have to roll convince?
Yes, please.
Better roll good.
Hell yeah, there it is.
Hey, look, it's a 1. The impossible roll.
The impossible roll, we got it.
Oh my god.
He slams the door in your face.
Mark experience.
Wait, no, is that correct? It says 1 + 1 + 1 + 0.
No, it says 1 + 1 - 1.
-1, okay.
That is indeed correct. The good old...
Maybe I shouldn't have made the joke.
1 in 36. Good job. You nailed it. Alrighty. As you basically ask, is that natural? If you had it a while, he turns to look at you, Margot, and just says, what? What are you talking about?
That rash, sometimes that's signs of paranormal things going on.
Pausing for a moment, he looks to you all, and something in his eyes gives you guys the impression that maybe he understands something he didn't understand before, or he sees through something. Regardless, he holds on to the cuff of the jacket he's wearing as if to ensure it doesn't slip again. Takes a step back with his other hand now, shifting the hand behind his back on the door, going to close it, saying, all right, I'm a little rude there, I would say. I just don't even know what your name is. Regardless, assistant to YouTuber. No, it's hereditary. It's something I've had for a while. And I don't appreciate you asking about it. You got any other quick questions? I got food I gotta take care of.
Can we tell he's diverting as in line, or?
It was a very jarring question, Margot. You can tell that you hit a sore spot.
Okay, a sore spot as in I might be right, or sore spot as in he has been harassed about it for a very, very long time?
A sore spot as in he's wanting to get rid of you as quickly as possible, and the reason he gave you is most likely bullshit.
There's a quick way. No, never mind. There's a quick way to get everyone out of this apartment, and that's to have someone come in and declare it unsanitary or worse, whatever it is. But then all these people would be tossed out who knows where, and they might be hard to track.
I mean, that's always a possibility anyway, if we want to investigate like the rooms or something, but
Yeah.
there's something in the water.
So as he's getting ready to close the door, do you guys have any parting questions or statements? Graham looks a little uncomfortable as he kind of looks to Margot. Maybe the way you phrased it was a little too jarring, or regardless, being asked about it would just never, bear fruit.
I mean, that's my point.
I'm gonna act like she just asked like a terrible question. I'm gonna drag her away. Like, you can't just ask that.
I'm going to, while I'm getting dragged away, I'm going to glare at this guy like I know he's lying.
All right, currently he's focused on Carson as he sees Margot getting chewed out, if you will, and looking, he's like, well, Mr. YouTuber, I got my money, I'm happy, but I am busy, so I do have to get going.
All right.
It didn't look like a drug thing, right?
No, like I said, Margot would know if it was drug related or hereditary or something along those lines.
Okay.
You would very much know this is supernatural. Sounds too weird. It's strange. You can trust me on that. Alrighty, and with that, Graham quickly apologizes, along with Carson basically saying, like, we good?
We good.
All right. And he kind of scoffs at that and rolls his eyes a bit. Doesn't really seem like super pissed, just I'm kind of done talking. And he turns to close the door and locks it. Graham goes to look at you all and goes, okay, well, I mean, we got some information, regardless if he's, a prickly pear or not, which he sort of is.
Oh, prickly pear is not the right term for him.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah, dirty lying scumbag is the appropriate term.
That might be a bit
we
much,
don't
but
know. We don't know what is going on,
I'm starting to get a little annoyed at this apartment complex. There's seriously a little too much going on with it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you didn't make that joke that maybe it was a hellmouth, and maybe it is.
I mean, would I know
Some
if
kind of central energy.
things like that have happened before in I.C.S. like documentation, like places that are just abundant in activity?
Definitely, but it's very rare, and I'm not going to say it's very obvious because it isn't. It has been known to happen, but it is rare for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Well, this might be the start of it then.
Yeah, is this something
Definitely
I can test for?
Sorry, is there a way to test for it?
Yeah, like, I don't know, some rising level of ectoplasm in the air or something?
Unfortunately, not really. It's just something you guys have to determine by effectively going and determining, yes, there's some crazy shit here. In terms of like a literal hellmouth, like a hole in the floor that's got some crazy shit pouring out of it, that's even rarer, I would say. But for like, hey, this area, for whatever reason, is heavy with ghosts, demons, something, there's usually a something attached to that, and that something is what you need to find to prove that there is a, congregation of X, whatever that thing may be. There's not really a sensor. You can just kind of, hellmouth.
Well, anyway, it's going to be something we'll have to report to them and have them figure out. For now, though, we have 2 leads. We can
Which
check
one
out
do we want to follow up on first?
Well, the room that he was pointing at was Finn's room, right?
Around about there, yeah.
Yeah, well, we could check that out.
What's this about the building next door? Did I miss something?
Yeah, that's also the vibe. Or Jenny was having like weird vibes from it.
What building's next door?
I think it was the same building if you had to look outside of Edda's window, right? The one that she had blocked off.
So her blocked off window actually leads to the inner part of the horseshoe, if you will, with the way this is shaped. The building in question is actually across the street, which is the opposite side of where Edda was blocking off. Yeah.
So he said he'd seen weird stuff across the street?
Yeah. Well, she felt weird when she walked past there.
Hang on, who? Janie?
Jenny. The girl that had a crush on Matthias.
Okay, because she mentioned a parking lot. So the parking lot plus the building? Or did I hear that wrong?
She just said that the parking lot has filled up occasionally, causing her to have to go by that area or park too close to it. And she very much prefers not to do that because spooky vibes.
Okay.
No. I mean, we could have one of the I.C.S. agents try to rent that room, the 204, or the other one is filled, right?
Which other one? All of them, or
the one next to Finn's old room that was also in that general area of spookiness.
Either that full. I think I'm trying to remember. You guys definitely looked at Finn's room, and it's perfectly clean. Or
yeah, it was like straight up new painted and all that stuff. It was like perfectly clean, but we didn't check it magically. I'm pretty sure, or magically, ectoplasmically. I don't know.
Yes, I would say in general it would either net the same results, or the testing would take too long, and Carrick would be like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" So,
yeah, that's why I was thinking maybe we could have like an agent rent out that room or something, and do some long-term testing.
Yeah. I'm sure we have the resources for that, right?
We do.
This wouldn't be a normal agent. That would have to be someone like us. Or me, actually.
Yeah, well, do you want a new apartment?
At this point, it might be a good idea.
Well,
a spooky haunted god house.
In general, they would give you the allowance if you needed to rent the room for whatever reason, Margot, and the proper paperwork.
But I am no way in hell leaving my BFF.
Yeah, obviously you're in town, so you don't necessarily need to have someone perma-watch BFF. You just have doggy daycare, then you head home, do your thing, etc., etc. But in general, in terms of I.C.S. and agents going out and doing and checking things, for the most part, like full-on checking is your guys' job, as agents are always busy. There almost are never any free folk just to do, whatever. For the most part, they are always busy, and could easily use more people, but of course, people aren't exactly chomping at the bit to sign up, so.
Hey, Graham, what are the chances that Carrick is going to let you move houses?
Like leave?
No, to the different room.
Finn's room, I'm assuming?
Yeah. The other one is occupied, right?
I mean, he might question it, but what would be my reasoning? He can just say no. I might be able to. I'm not sure I want to necessarily. I mean, if there's like, I heard what he said. Are we saying there's like spooky shit in the walls? Because I'm not sure if I'm down with that.
Maybe. I mean, would it be further away from the other woman? That's always complaining.
Yeah, I'm not that loud. She's not always complaining.
I mean, sure, you might. It's an option. I mean, it's your choice.
If he's safe in this room, I wouldn't ask him to move either because he's not an official member yet.
True.
All right. So, Kaiba, you're gonna talk to Mr. Carrick about the pets, right?
Oh God, don't remind me.
We need to know just to make sure that he didn't off them himself.
All right. What is
that's fair?
What is your reasoning, Kaiba, on your solo venture to go speak with Mr. Carrick?
Thinking of what now? Like I could just be a random pet owner looking for my pet cat.
I was just gonna say that.
Pet cats, they're both mine now. I mean, he's probably gonna be pissed at that anyway because they hang out this place all the time.
Alrighty, is that what we're going for?
Might as well, yeah.
Okay. The rest of the group, Margot and Carson, what are y'all doing while Kaiba's doing this? Just rearranging notes and such?
Yeah, we don't want to go with. We have to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Be as far away as possible. You two can look out the other building. It's across from this with the weird vibes.
Sounds good.
Okay. As the two of you, Margot and Carson, head over to the other building, Kaiba, you're able to head to the primary office, which is basically dead center, first floor of the apartment building 103. It says Mr. Carrick on the door. You give it a quick knock. After a moment, He opens it on up, and you see the same gentleman that we run into before. He clears his throat, gives you the quick up and down, and goes, "Yeah, what can I do for you?"
Good day. You the superintendent of this building?
Correct, yes.
No. Well, stupid question, honestly, but have you seen two cats around this area, or was it orange one, right?
Yeah,
And
orange,
black one.
orange and black, yeah.
I'll just give like a general description for. Yes, there's a cat, 4 legs, a tail.
He
It's
nods.
scruffy-looking.
Yeah, he nods, and he's like, "I know what a cat looks like. Why? You don't live here, do you? You don't look familiar."
No, I don't live. I live in the neighborhood, and well, they're my cats, but
I would hope not, because you're not allowed to have pets in the building. We've had issues in the past. I'm sure you can understand, but
yeah, I can understand.
he's thinking to himself, and as he is, he's kind of checking you out, looking over your shoulder. Go ahead and roll me convince, Mr. Kaiba.
I'm so good at these.
Are you one good at these, or are you I barely made it good at these? Let's find out.
I think I'm -1 on these, right? No, I'm 0 at these.
Full
I'm not
success.
bad.
Excellent. You rolled almost boxcars. Very close. The opposite of Margot. Congratulations.
Turns out Carrick also likes cats.
He's general mood changes for a moment. Either he does or does not see precisely what he's looking for, either in you or your surroundings. Regardless, he seems to be fine with the way you hold yourself, Kaiba. He clears his throat again and says, "Well, like I mentioned, cats and such aren't really allowed around here, and I think I saw your cat a little while ago, little black one and orange one you mentioned. Yes, the black one from a while ago. I'd say, you should probably, no offense, obviously, but cut your losses on that one. I've not seen it in at least a month or two. It used to hang around near the front. Not that I necessarily have anything against the little beasties, but I'd shoo it away. People keep feeding it, and it was coming back here for more food."
Yeah, that explains why it stopped showing up at my place.
Yeah. I mean, you can't ever really own a cat now, can you?
Sadly, that's true. Well, I'm just doing my due diligence because they are still my cats. I do want them back, preferably.
Well,
Trying to find where they went.
Unfortunate it is that they're running about in that way. You could always check by the park. It's around back. Sometimes kids will hang out there and probably feed the cats and play with various animals. They're well trained, I assume. They don't bite.
Yeah, they're sprayed and, all that.
Good. A proper pet owner. I can appreciate that. Well, regardless, if you do find them, make sure they don't make their way over here. I won't do anything stupid, of course, but I'd prefer it if they weren't mucking around near the front, yeah?
No, I know some owners around here put out poison and stuff like that, so I try to keep them away from that. But, they're wild cats, outdoor cats.
If I see anything like that, I'll be sure to toss it. We don't want kids getting into it, but in general, definitely watch yourself. I'll keep an eye out. You got a number or something? You said you live around here somewhere?
Yeah, I live nearby, though I'm not home all that often, which, I have outside cats.
Well,
I come home to feed them every once in a while, that's about it.
Fair enough. If you want, you can give me a number and I can...
I'll give him my phone number, I guess, private number.
Sure. He takes that. What was your name again?
Derek.
Derek, sure thing. He jots down Derek and your number. He rolls over to his Rolodex, flips that open, plops your name in, closes it, and he put cat, looking for cat, on the note as well. And he flips back on over to you and says, "Well, Mr. Derek, I do hope you find your little pets. I'll be sure to give you a call if I see either of them. It's just the two."
Just the two, yeah.
All right, well...
I mean, the cats, there might end up being 7 of them.
Very true that. Yeah. Regardless, I do wish you luck. Just be careful they don't get into anywhere they, can't make their way out of.
Well, I definitely try, but cats are cats.
True enough.
Sadly, it wouldn't be the first time if they end up, Well, let's hope for the best.
Yeah, true enough. You seem like a good guy. You got a solid head on your shoulders, so I wish you luck.
All right, well, thanks for the help.
Yep. And he flips around real quick,
Yeah, look at that.
closes his door a little too hard, and heads back over to work. While this is happening, Margot and Carson, you're heading over to the zone.
Sure am.
Alrighty.
I'll call Margot real quick. Like, well, he hasn't seen him for a while. I'm gonna take a quick look around the building anyway, and then I'll join you in the other building.
Okay. It'll take obviously a moment for Kaiba to have this conversation with Mr. Carrick. So while that is beginning, and we're slowly catching up to where Kaiba would be now, roaming around Serene Falls, both Margot and Carson, you come across what is very clearly an abandoned building across the way from Serene Falls. There are no logos or labels of any kind, although there are various numbers that are plastered up near one of the doors. You believe that this is most likely was the address to this building, but the numbers have either faded or been just basically smacked off. This location is 100% not in use. There is garbage, twisted metal, things of that nature. It looks like things were hauled out of this building, and either they just kind of give up. Various barrels full of chunks of wood, metal, nails. This place is definitely dangerous, and being as close as it is to the apartments, the city should probably take care of it. It is 100% worrying. If you had a child, you would not want them playing here.
Can we guess how long it's been abandoned and or what it used to be used for?
I would say in general what it was used for was most likely either metalworking or woodworking, a small warehouse, if you will. They most likely didn't make anything like cars or tables or anything here. It more so looks like they made the product to be sent somewhere else. This warehouse was relatively small, so it doesn't necessarily look like they had excessive imports or exports. And judging by its location, you can probably tell why they indeed closed down. And while the two of you are looking around this little ghost town, are we looking for anything in particular?
Gosh, anything that seems out of the ordinary?
Okay.
Anything creepy?
Excellent. If both Margot and Carson could roll me investigate.
If the vibe is off, I need to know.
Vibe check.
Vibe check, mixed success. Mixed vibes. Some of them are good.
You both rolled
them are bad.
So fast, my brain didn't even see it. We got a 9 and an 8. 2 mixed successes. Alrighty. Obviously, we've not played in the heartbeat. So, investigate a mystery.
You know I was ready.
Oh, of course. Give me a multitude of things. Like I said, I am 100% on board with the flexible investigate a mystery, aka just ask me a question. You can also, if you don't know what to ask, you can hold one and ask one of the questions that is listed under investigate a mystery.
Are you excluding what is being concealed here?
Nope. The Roll20 broke those up because it likes me.
I immediately want to know what is being concealed here.
Perfect. Margaret, do you want to wait for that answer, or do you have a question of your own?
I'll wait, because that's the exact answer I wanted to ask.
All right, cool. Maybe we can ask a second what is being concealed here. Well, Mr. Carson, as you are roaming around this area, we find very quickly that the outside isn't relatively interesting. You can tell that there aren't really, understandably, too many people in and out of this building, if any. Looking around a bit, though, you see a side entrance as the primary gate, more so truck entry and exit, is closed down. Probably some mechanism is used to open it. There's trash in front of that gate, so it's not going anywhere. No way you can get in. Find a side entrance that also seems to be locked. There's a junk in front of it as well, but you very quickly realize, Carson, among moving around, that you actually see footprints already leading to this door. They stop. You can tell the trash in front of it, while it looks jagged and dangerous, you realize that it's effectively one board of wood with just shit on it. It looks man-made. It's not any particular shape, nor is it professional in any way, but you can tell someone made this. You're able to easily move it to the side, and you gain access to the door. You're able to open it. The chains on it are merely for show. They were not bolted together, nor was there an actual lock. They merely wrap and wrap and wrap. You can very easily unwrap them. As the door squeaks open, the sun is beginning to set, as it's getting a little later in the day. You guys are able to whip out your flashlights. Margot, are you following Carson into the building, or are you kind of going your own route?
I think I would follow.
Okay. The two of you.
I don't know. I don't think it's we should split up and look for things. I think we should stay together.
Yeah,
That's fun, though.
Obviously, I do want to look around the building, but I don't think we should enter alone.
I don't want to die.
You won't die. You'll just go crazy.
It's the death of the ego.
I'll say in general, Graham is staying. He's not following. Do you guys want Margot and Carson, Graham, to follow you guys? Otherwise, he was going to generally just stay by Serene Falls near his room, so that he wasn't seen with Kaiba.
Honestly, that's fine. That's fine with me.
It's his choice at this point, right? He isn't working for us officially yet.
Right.
It's late.
Yeah. So if he would only follow you, Margot, and Carson if you asked him to. Otherwise, he's going to stay near his room, waiting for you guys to kind of report back to him because he doesn't want to be seen and like blow Kaiba's cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Like, if anything, I would ask him, like, when it's night or when it's nice and dark out, why don't you take a stroll through the building and see if you feel anything weird?
Okay.
Liminal space and all that.
Actually, can I ask him to watch the outside of the building while we're inside? Or can he not see from his room?
Oh, yeah. He's on floor 2, so he can kind of overlook and see a little bit easier. And from his vantage point, he sees both Margot and Carson click their flashlights on, and the two of you begin to look around the area. As mentioned before, yes, this was indeed once a warehouse. Anything of value has been scraped and purged from this location. It is indeed, as mentioned before, quite dangerous. A slip-up or a fall, anything of that nature, could lead to, I would not say grievous injury, unless you were terribly unlucky, but let's just say you don't want to be cut by any of the rusted, jagged chunks of refuse left behind.
It's fine. I got my tetanus shot.
Perfect. Skewer me.
Me too.
Just kidding. I'm afraid of rust. It's
Fight
fine.
me,
I'll be
nature.
careful.
That's your fear, Rust.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be so funny if that actually was.
Rust monster.
Rust monster.
I mean, you would love rust monsters then, right? If you're afraid of rust.
They eat rust.
Oh, no, wait, never mind. No,
it would be
they
made
create
of rust, wouldn't it?
Well, I guess they make things
I mean,
into rust.
they create rust and then eat it. I'm not sure how that counts. I guess.
Oh,
Wow, man, I wish I had that power. I just like touch things, I turn to steak and I eat them.
interesting.
Hell yeah, let's do this shit. Anyway, I want rib touch. Anyway, back to Margot and Carson. You're flashing your flashlights around. And for the most part, this place is abandoned. Something catches your nose as the wind blows through the broken windows. It's a foul smell. It smells of death. But it's faint. It's very faint. And you only smell it for a moment. As you continue looking about, you get a little closer as the smell gets stronger and stronger. And back by where you currently are, this one's going to be for Carson. You're moving forward and you see an area that almost looks like various cubbies and things of that nature built into the wall, whether it be for wood, maybe long reams of steel, things of that nature. You can easily fit your arm and your head in some of them if you'd like. Various sizes and such. There is stuff, papers and such, shoved into most of these. It's all quite messy. A lot of rotten wood and rusted metal left behind. But as you get closer to these cubbies, you notice the smell is coming from one of these. Something strong and foul and impossible to miss. You know, Carson, that you're standing in front of one of the cubbies that is emanating this smell. As the two of you walk up to this, what do y'all do?
What's that the kids these days say? Fuck around and find out.
You're not going to open it, are you?
Why wouldn't I? I have a history of doing bad things like that.
I mean, that's more my territory, but all right, go ahead.
It is actually more Margot's territory. I'm afraid.
On that note, I will allow either of you to proceed. You tell me who does so.
I want to know what's inside it, so I will go ahead and open it.
All right. Margot, if you could please roll me.
A death save.
I know, right?
Do we have death saves here? Oh, I forgot I exited.
You just die.
No, unless the creature calls for one. Margot, please roll me to keep it together using plus cool.
Keep it together, huh?
Will she keep it together? Kinda.
Mostly. Alrighty. You tell me, Margot, where you add this bit of stress after you run into said thing. As you begin to shuffle about, you notice the smell is much stronger. There's a ball of bundled up paper, kind of like that brown packing paper, and it crinkles as you sort of pull it out one of these cubbies. You notice that there is more just beyond that. And you reach in a bit.
Maybe my hands are definitely gloved. But...
Of course. You reach in, and that brown paper was sticking out quite a bit. You could easily grab it without needing to put your hand into the cubby. To remove this next bit, you kind of lean down, shine your flashlight. That smell's definitely stronger, so that's what was stopping it. In about by your wrist. And as you pull, this one's a bit heavier for whatever reason. And you kind of give it a really solid yank. As you do, something heavy comes along with it, causing you to step back as it falls forward and spills to the floor. Whatever this thing before you was at one point wrapped in this paper, caused it to deteriorate, fused with it slightly, the liquids melting through the paper. And it splats mostly dryly to the floor, but the smell strikes you instantly. And looking up at you, Margot, is the skin of a black animal. Black furred animal.
A cat.
Upon closer inspection, yes, it is indeed a cat. It looks as if it was, all of its insides were just sucked out, and all that remained is the skin. And it was shoved into this bag, pushed in this little cubby, and left away to rot.
That's so messed up.
The smell continues, wafting up to you very, very strongly, Margot. It assaults your senses. Fortunately, Carson, you're a step back from this, so you're not struck by this thing, Margot, but its arm is draped across one of your shoes, or your boots. Where would you like to place this stress, Margot?
Agitated.
I agree.
I was really hoping the cats weren't dead.
As you begin to look around, you notice there are a few more cubbies like this, spread throughout. In the same way, there is paper sticking out of, we'll say, 4, maybe 5 more locations. The smell is not as strong, but these are fairly obvious to see now that you're looking.
Any other cat size, or they're a bunch bird size?
They're all relatively large. You could easily fit your arm up in there if you wanted to. Some are even bigger. You put your head in. Not that I would recommend it, of course.
No, I mean, hang on. Was the cubbies, was there only one with a wrapped up thing in it?
The one you found, plus 5 more.
So the other packages, are they bird sized or cat sized?
You go to touch them?
Yes.
Okay. As you're moving over to pull out and adjust these other ones, Carson, you don't necessarily see this full on, as you don't have a front row seat. How do you react to this?
I mean, I'm pretty horrified.
Do you position yourself in a way to see it? Or do you, Margot?
Well, does Margot even say what it is?
Yes. So, Margot, after this happens, what do you do or say?
Found one of our missing cats.
What do you mean by that?
You don't want to know.
Do you place the leftover papers on its body?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Oh, actually, hang on. Should I say, would you like a new pair of gloves? Cat fur, right for the taking.
Margaret definitely
What's
has a way
wrong
to avoid the situation. That's one way to do it.
And then the next ones, yes?
My God, my sister is a psychopath.
I mean, a little. As she's moving over to the other cubbies, the smell, while not quite as strong, Margot, is indeed still very much there. Upon moving over, removing the papers, these are older. You pull them a bit slower, so they don't come slumping out in the same way that the first did. But yes, you find the skins of other small animals, something with long ears, brown, something white, another black, and in each of these, there seems to be 1 to multiple bodies, shining your light down the way. I mentioned these are meant to carry like 2x4s, but it's a warehouse for structures, for building things, for being sent out. These can go back quite a bit. In some of these, you can see bundles of skins shoved back there. And then looking around near this general area, you see a nice firm pipe, I would say, that left behind. And on the tip of it, you notice there what you presume to be rust initially, most likely blood, dried. And this is long enough that you could easily shove these skins back further and further down these cubbies.
Oh my God. This is not the vibe that I want.
And while you're looking around, Margot, you do technically have your question.
Can I tell how long this has been going on from like the oldest wrapping?
In terms of how long this has been happening, yes. So you're able to kind of go through these. This will indeed take you some time. By this point, you have indeed received information from Kaiba. He's going to be doing the rounds and such, looking over to the playground. Carson, whether you're helping or not is entirely up to you. I won't have you.
Yeah.
I won't have you roll. As you are prepared for what you're about to see. You can disassociate. You don't need to look directly at it. Margot, obviously, you are mostly fine as well. But in terms of age, while this one here was relatively bloody, you can tell from these other ones, in terms of how well they are cut, they progressively get worse and worse, sloppier, if you will. As in,
Oh my god.
So as in whoever's doing it has gotten better.
correct. And these other ones, they date back from quite some time. I can't place a precise date, but I would easily say over a year.
This is starting to sound a little serial killer-y.
I mean, that's what I was worried about. This doesn't necessarily have
when
to
they
be
said the cats,
paranormal.
honestly, anytime somebody's like, yeah, all these cats or dogs have gone missing, I'm instantly like, serial killer? Just watched too many documentaries.
I mean, it's a real thought, you know.
Okay, so hang on. The animals were cut, their insides were cut out of the skin.
Only skins remain. The older ones, there are still various, bits of sinew and muscle that have long dried, of course. The skins aren't as neatly cut either. It looks like someone either panicked upon opening them or they were just horribly, horribly inaccurate. And it's more of a butchering than a cutting. The most recent one that you found, Margot?
It's also no bones?
No bones. Just a skin.
Oof.
Yeah.
No orange cat, right?
Not that you can say.
I would like to shoot off a quick text to request a camera surveillance on this place to see who walks in and out over the next month.
Okay.
I mean, they might be able to find video evidence of dating back as well.
I got the impression this place was rinky dinky, right? There should be no nearby working cameras.
There might be. We're not 100% sure. So you'll send this off to the handler, and hopefully she can return in a timely manner with the information that we need. You did say that we are extending one of our first cases as we found something that is definitely troubling. Now that you've sent her this information, that slightly troubling has become actually troubling, and you have full reins to do what you need to on this case, Margot. They will not stop you. While you are making that call, sending in the information, you and Carson are kind of getting cleaned up while you're looking around, realizing that there probably isn't much more in this warehouse, at least, for you to find, unless you have another question, of course. Kaiba, we can cut back over to you as Graham is kind of looking over the edge in order to see what Margot and Carson are doing. He'll give you guys a text or a call if someone ends up coming up to y'all, but doesn't say anything, so
and
you guys are
real
safe.
quick, I do want to stick the black cat skin back in the cubby where I found it.
Okay.
Just to make it a little less obvious that we were here.
Yeah. As I mentioned with the others, you didn't need to as obviously pull them out, so it was much easier. They were also more dried. They're older, so it's not really much harder for you. And Kaiba, as you're kind of doing the rounds on this building, are you looking for anything in particular?
Like at this point, I feel that Kaiba would probably start following his guts, basically. So feel out for any weird spots as he walks around the building, as well as looking for the cats or places where cats, go to die.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I could use my phone to see if any missing animal reports in this area or something.
Okay.
Or ask people in the neighborhood. I don't know.
Yeah, that I can more easily answer. So both using your phone, looking for missing animals, maybe asking around, you do see two kids that are playing nearby in the park and their parents are watching. Looking into your phone, you do indeed see on very similar to looking for work, things of that nature. Yes, someone is willing to pay. They are missing an orange cat. Someone's missing a black cat. Someone else was missing other cats that, while described, don't match anything that you were told from either Matthias or Johnny. But when I say this general area, it's not specifically this block, obviously. It goes off quite a bit. One of them is like half a mile from here. One's a full mile from here, at least the missing location. Obviously, animals are known to wander. But from what you can see, Kaiba, this seems to be a kind of hotbed for missing animals.
Huh, interesting.
And then other than that, you would, of course, would receive the information from Margot and Carson, let you know what they found. And then by this point...
Do they text at this point that they found the black cat? Or?
Yes. I will also text. So I made a joke if Carson wanted some new black cat fur gloves, and he gave me a weird look.
I understand. That's funny, right? He should have laughed, right?
I'm just not going to respond to that.
My attempts to get to know my brother failed. Oh, well.
You basically see the read thing pop up as you said that. And it takes a good, 5 minutes before he says anything back. And it's just I have this family therapist. Maybe we should go see her sometime.
No thanks.
Oh, well.
I think I'll probably respond, I already have one. And her name is BFF.
Fair. Well, I would just like do the round, I guess, take a good look at the surrounding area, take a look at the building itself from a distance, I don't know, see if there's anything weird on the building itself, or people staring at us.
Nothing weird, but yeah, you're being watched by Johnny. You see her from the window, and she goes to close it for a second until she realizes it's you, and then she waves.
I wave back, and I'll bring out my camera and do like a wide shot, like I'm taking pictures or something.
She sort of nods along with that, assuming that you're, getting the establishing shot and whatnot, and closes her window. For a brief moment, as you're looking about Kaiba, since you saw her very obvious waving, you see for a brief moment where Matthias would be located. His curtains move just a wee bit.
Good to know.
Other than that,
all right.
You don't really see much else back here.
No. I mean, we're 2 kids, right?
Yep, 2 kids. They're playing near the park, and then their parents are nearby.
Yeah, like I'm not sure. This is definitely one of the situations where Kaiba goes like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be that guy.
Fair enough.
I'll ask, I don't know, Margot to talk to him or something. I'm sure that'll end well. Especially with her sense of humor.
Talk to who?
The 2 kids.
The kid? You're going to make me talk to the kids?
Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids.
You need a pair of gloves.
See? They'll go over perfectly.
They're warm and soft.
Jeez.
All right, well, I'll just go catch up to them, I guess.
All right, you all group together. Occasionally, Graham lets you guys know via text, all clear, all clear, all clear, so everything seems to be fine. You have all this information. Margot, you get, I would say you get a message back fairly quick from the handler, effectively saying, currently, in terms of, camera shots, at least for that exact area, I got nothing. There's nothing on Serene Falls. Obviously, this building is old. There were no cameras there to begin with. And where you guys are isn't like a horrible location. There is a camera that is nearby, but not close enough that would really be useful. But they are currently doing their best to pull information from it.
Can we get something set up? Something small and innocuous?
Sure.
Something new?
I mean, surely Kaiba would have brought something for that.
Yeah, something new.
That's his ballpark.
Oh, yeah, definitely 100%.
Oh, well then I'll say never mind. My brother has it.
Yeah, I'll set something up like inside the door so that it isn't conspicuous.
I'll say you're able to do that relatively easily. You are quite good at this, indeed. They'll still try to pull information from older cameras to see if that might help for future investigation. But other than that, Kabi, you move on in. You get your camera set up. We got everything where we need it. Hopefully, we'll see things in the future. And standing where we are now, where do we all move to next? What's our next play?
I mean, I want to take a closer look at the animals they found, at least. See if there's anything I can distinguish from them, I guess.
Okay. Anything in particular you're trying to look for?
Like, if there's anything specifically weird about how they have been gutted, apparently.
Okay. Margot, did you document any of this with a camera, or were you just looking at them and taking notes?
Margot's the type to document, so I would have taken pictures, yeah.
Okay. I would say the photos that Margot took should be sufficient for you to look at, Kaiba, unless you want to, go hands-on, of course. And seeing this, you effectively get the same information. She shows you the newer ones that are cut, I wouldn't say pristinely. This is obviously not the work of, a professional taxidermist or something along those lines, but they have gotten better. The older ones are obviously worse, to the point where the person probably looked panicked, and there's even older ones than that probably that you most likely don't want to see shoved way back there. But there are a worrying number of pelts left behind. From what you can tell, it only looks like the person that got a hold of the animal just wanted whatever was inside. That was it. They just took the guts and the muscle, bone, everything. All he left behind was the skin.
Right. I guess the main thing he would be looking for is like, I don't know, any creatures or thing that would be able to do this or would do this, or like a ritual or something. That's his take, I guess.
I would say in terms of ritual, definitely put that in your pocket. This feels very particular with how many have been taken. Obviously, it's difficult to date the bodies, but it's fair to say that they were taken at a fairly regular pace, whether as to not arouse suspicion or because said ritual requires it. So definitely worth taking a note as if to say there is a ritual that requires something, whether it be, the blood, bone, what have you. Difficult to tell all of it, maybe, but it seems very particular in that sense.
Well, it's good to know.
I'll also mention that I didn't find the orange cat.
Good. At least one of my cats is still alive.
For now, probably, maybe.
I don't say it like that. I mean, he might have already been captured. Maybe he's being skinned right now.
Exactly. Which is why I want you to set those cameras up ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be too late for that, Cat, sadly. Oh well. The cameras are set up, that's fine.
Did you come straight here or check the playground?
I took a look around the building, see if there's anything weird about it. I mean, aside from Gianni and Matthias looking at me secretly.
Wait, this building or the playground? I was asking about the playground.
That's in the building, right? In like the horse shape area?
Yeah, it's in the horseshoe area near Serene Falls, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's a yes. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't feel anything weird there. I mean, there were kids playing there and their mothers were there. I'm not going to approach them.
Maybe happen to notice maybe anything buried? Signs of something being dug up or no?
No, but while I was, well, doing my job, I did find that a lot of animals disappear in this neighborhood. But I think we already know where they end up.
But Matthias said he noticed it recently, which would imply an increase in disappearance, right?
Yes, well, I mean, most of these were birds, right?
The birds and the cats, yeah.
In terms of bodies, there are no birds.
Oh, there weren't?
Nope. I said there were mostly larger animals. So from what you've seen, there were cats, dogs, and some rabbits.
I mean, there is the possibility that this is not the epicenter, so to speak, of disappearings.
Well, I'll just take some Google searching to backtrack.
Yeah, I mean, I can do some quick math and find out if these are all the animals that have disappeared over the past, I don't know, year.
That's good. While you're doing that, I'd actually like to Google what happened to this warehouse.
Sure.
Sure. Where do you guys station yourselves while you're doing this? I assume we're not sitting in this nasty warehouse.
Oh, hell no. I guess we go back to Graham's house?
I mean, we can also sit inside the van, otherwise.
Oh, I guess we could do that.
Either are fine. Graham is waiting for you guys, so just let him know.
We don't want to be seen walking between this building and Graham's house every so often.
True, yes.
All right, y'all just let him know you're going to be in the van for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. He just texts you back. I'll just be chilling here. If y'all need me, y'all can come back up. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you, basically. But don't hesitate to let me know if you need some help. As you guys head on back over to the van, you're able to kind of, look some things up, check this, that, and the other. What was your question again, Margot, real quick, that you were searching online for?
I want to know the history of the warehouse.
History of the warehouse. Oh, and why it was closed?
Yeah.
Wonderfully boring answer. They just went into business. They couldn't afford to keep up. They were too small. They, at one point, did business with a lot of local locations. Those local locations ended up reaching out to larger ones, and that's it. Simple as that. Mismanagement plus bigger dogs moved in, scared the small dog away.
And it had no history of creepy happenings before?
Nothing weird. No, just an abandoned building.
So no police reports of people breaking in a lot, or?
Nope. It's honestly, it was seen as relatively dangerous, so kids don't even hang out here to smoke or drink or anything. It's just kind of like a bullshit hole that everyone ignores. Now, I will say, as mentioned, there have been some complaints from like people living in this area to the city saying, hey, either knock it down or do something with it because people are leaving trash there. Larger things like, I don't need this couch anymore. They just leave it there. And the, garbage folk aren't going to come pick that up. Old metal, old wood, things people don't need. That's the only, at least most recent interesting thing that's been left there. But you can tell this is just a standard, community complaint. Doesn't really raise any weird red flags.
Was there an obvious reason why it hasn't gotten torn down? Like the government just won't do it?
Is it still owned by someone, technically?
Yeah, like someone who's arguing to keep it up even though there's no reason to.
Maybe a little bit of that, but it's primarily, this isn't exactly the most affluent section of said city that we live in. So it's very much one of those, we'll get to it. I mean, there's that, how many buildings have we seen that are very obviously abandoned that don't get knocked down for like years?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's basically what you're saying. Or potholes. Please fill the pothole. Sure, sand. No. Fill the pothole. Okay. 3 days later. And it's a hole again. Nice. Would you put in it Play-Doh?
Yes.
That's the issue. You can't fill a pothole. You have to remake the entire road.
Yes.
Just pick up the road and put down a new one.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what they do.
Yes. That's why we pay so much road tax here in the Netherlands.
What's that dude's name from Hiraka? The cement boy?
Cementos?
Yeah, we need that boy.
Is his name literally Cementos? I thought it was something else.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's his hero name.
Oh, God.
I mean, hey, their hero names are very literal, but I know roads aren't cement, but just get him to roll on through and just whoop, nailed it.
If only.
If only. Yeah, if only we could take one hero. That guy. The hero of our time. Alrighty. Researching this information, chilling in our van. It's obviously getting late. What are our plans going forward? We heading back to our homes, as we are still in the main town. We don't need to go anywhere weird.
Yeah. I mean, we're sure this entire building has been searched at this point, or?
Yes, yeah.
Did we? Okay. Well, aside from finding out if the disappearances kind of line up with the amount of corpses we found,
very much so.
Or husks we found.
Yeah. The more you look into it, I would say, Kaiba, the more worrying it becomes, because they are basically 1-to-1. Both descriptions, obviously, skin rots over time, but in general, you're a smart dude. You can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I mean, skin, it lasts for quite a while.
Yeah.
If you know him. That doesn't sound wrong.
The black cat didn't actually splat, though, did it?
A little.
But if it's been dead for a month-ish, there should be no splattage.
Looking at the skin left behind, since you were very intimate with it, unfortunately, some of it's still in your shoe, unless you wipe that off. Yes, actually, you're wondering why it was missing for a month, if that time was accurate, but the skin looks a little fresher than that.
So it looked about as fresh as it should be, correspondingly wet.
That's a sentence. Yes.
So it died recently.
Yes.
Like it isn't like the weird case like it wasn't actually cut open at all. It was like sucked dry by a spider or something.
You very much get the feeling that it was cut and not sucked.
Okay.
Man, this game has the best sentences.
So its inside was not goopified.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, that might explain the wetness. You never know.
How wet is the skin?
Yes.
Ew.
Well, we might be dealing with a chupacabra, except it eats cats, apparently.
Someone get the moistometer.
Well,
You think Kyra doesn't already have one of those?
They do exist.
that's kind
They
of this is kind of unfortunate, because it was killed recently, but it's been missing at least a month, and that orange cat, we might not see that orange cat for like another 3 weeks minimum.
Yeah, I mean, it's also good because it might be alive still.
Yeah, but I was hoping to catch the killer in the act of putting it in here.
I mean, when that time comes, I have my cameras now, so...
Can
They are shitty cameras, by the way, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we need. Can I ask you to position some sneaky cameras near the front and back doors of the apartment complex?
I mean, sure. I would have to do it very sneakily or at midnight or something, so I don't get seen, because that's very illegal, but...
That's fine, and I'll help.
Fortunately, it is late, so you should be able to do that. Let's see. I'll actually have you roll for that. What is the best stat to roll? I want to say sharpness. Basically saying that you're keeping an eye on things, Kaiba. Watching your surroundings, things of that nature.
Nice.
Well, Margo.
I would like to help out.
You did say, I'm helping. How are you helping, Margo?
He's making sure no one's watching him do it.
Yeah.
I'll just be a second pair of eyes.
All right, throw them devil dice. Don't roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Not that you can roll one with 2 d6s. Hey, look at that. That brings our mixed success to a... Oh, no, sorry. That brings a failure to a mixed success. Sorry, I got a little too excited.
Yay. I don't fall off my creaky ladder and break my ankle or something.
Excellent. All right, you're not caught in reprimanded by parents or sterner forces. The two of you begin to move around the apartment. As I mentioned, it is later. We have to wait, I would say, a bit longer than we'd like. We're probably not going to get very good sleep tonight, as we still do indeed need to head back to our apartments or homes after we have finished this little venture. You guys let Graham know, hey, we're probably going to be, cutting it, a little busy tonight, so go ahead and hit the hay. If we need you, we'll contact you tomorrow. That way he's not waiting hours for nothing. He goes off to do that. Wishes you all a good night. I'll catch you all soon. And time is indeed spent. As we move around, setting up cameras, you get the feeling as if someone might have been watching you or something along those lines, Kaiba. It gives you pause as you check your surroundings. You don't necessarily see anything, but you keep getting the feeling as if maybe you're being watched. And you might be, but the person watching might not matter, fortunately. Margo, you were kind of serving as an extra pair of eyes for Kaiba. And as you look around, you find that there was a kid playing hide and seek. They're in the middle of playing hide and seek. And one kid is indeed watching
Nice.
Kaiba. I know, right? But you don't know
That's not creepy at all.
what they're seeing precisely. And Margot, as you're moving about, you see this little kid that's attempting to hide in the bushes, but you notice that they're less intending to hide and they're more so whimpering to themselves. They seem scared.
This is midnight, right?
It's late, yeah.
I'm gonna up against a Kaiba, make sure he's not gonna fall off the ladder, and then scooch closer to the kid. Hey, what's wrong? What are you doing outside this late?
The leaves stir as the child moves, and they look up to you, not horrified, but very much still scared. You guys are having to move around with flashlights. This kid ain't got nothing. You would not have seen them were it not for the lights. Some lights come on around the play area and whatnot, but not enough to illuminate. Definitely not enough to play. As you do that, the kid looks up to you and says, I was told to hide, and I'm hiding. They haven't found me yet. I'm not supposed to move.
Who are you hiding from?
My friends were playing hide and seek.
Oh God, how long has the kid been there?
Why are you guys playing hide and seek at midnight?
We weren't. I'm really cold.
Oh no.
Okay. How long ago? How long ago were you told to play hide and seek?
I don't know. The sun was up and now it's not.
All right, come here. Come here.
The kid seems hesitant, but they walk over to you and they go, "Are you good, lady?"
Yeah, I'm fine. He's not giving me any weird vibes, right?
No, they just seem scared. Little kid.
Aw.
All right, come here. Come here. I'm gonna offer him. I'm gonna spread my arms wide for a hug to warm him up.
Okay. And as you do, initially they kind of twitch and go to pull away, but you're able to basically spend your focus on this Margot, and you do indeed continue with this child, and you eventually squeeze the information out of them where they live, and they actually do live in this apartment complex. They have been here for way too long waiting for their friends to find them, and they took hide and seek a little too literally. Do you explain to them that's not how you play hide and seek, or?
Yes, I'm definitely going to explain that.
Okay.
Me and Margot are good cop, bad cop. I'm good cop.
There's a layer of well, I'm good at hiding, right? And it's like, no, not that. No, not like that. Either the kids got bored or they were being mean. You don't get the sense that they left them here as a joke. You get the sense that they're just children and forgot and went to go play something else and just forgot to tell the kid.
Then yes, I will definitely emphasize, if you've been there too long, just give up. It's not worth the cold.
And as you're explaining this to the child, you finish setting up your cameras, Kaiba. But as you finish up with the last pair, you very much get the feeling as if someone is still watching you, and it's not the kid. After you finish, you are in a position where you can't reposition yourself. You got the okay from Margot, but she clearly missed something. As you look around, and as your allies assist you in looking around, whatever saw you, you do not see. But you know that someone or something witnessed this camera placing. And we'll go ahead and pause our session there. Feel free to think what you guys are going to do next week, and we'll get right on that.